Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Memories of laughter and tears, answers to my deepest fears. In these walls I find my truth, washing away the years. Ruth, oh, the road was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Memories of laughter and tears, answers to my deepest fears. In these walls I find my truth, washing away the years. Ruth, oh, the road was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place your pain will cease. Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air.
Hey, yo. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I guess I need my microphone to holler at you. Good morning. Good morning. It's Friday. I think it's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. Good morning, squad. Good morning, brothers. Good morning, crew. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning to the YouTube crew, the brothers on YouTube, the brothers on Facebook, the brothers on Instagram. Soon I hope that we can do this live on TikTok. I might try today on my phone. We shall see. But good morning, brother. You made it. You made it another week. It's a big accomplishment. A lot of people didn't make it a week. Some people didn't make it a week, and I'm not just talking about people who unfortunately might have passed away this week. I'm talking about people who gave up in their mind, brothers who gave up in their mind. They gave up on themselves. But you didn't, bro. You didn't. You hung in there. You stood tall. And I want to say that I'm proud of you. I want to say that you matter. And I want to say, go get your coffee, man. Go get your tea. Go get whatever you need, man. Let's start this morning. Let's get through this Friday. Got a weekend ahead of us. I hope you guys have a great weekend plan. Even if that's just to chill, even if you don't leave the crib, that don't mean that it's not a great weekend plan. A great weekend plan sometimes you stay in the house. Today's show won't be long. Um, I'm celebrating my daughter's birthday tonight, so I got a lot to do today. And then my old lady comes home today from a business trip, and so I just want to be prepared for everybody. But good morning, everyone. Good morning again. I want to get into this morning. I want to talk about. We were talking about relationship yesterday, or redefining love. Rather, we were talking about redefining love for men, and we were also talking about how men learn love. And I think we did a lot of discovery yesterday. Yesterday was a good time that we could share and talk and see where we are, But I think a lot of men, it was so good yesterday too. The expression. I went back and just went through the comments yesterday from the show, and just the expression of men. Like I always say, men want to talk. People think men don't want to talk, or the myth is that men don't want to talk. Men want to talk. Men just want to feel safe to do so, and men don't want to feel judged if they do talk. So I was so honored, man, that men share, especially in this format. It's a big honor to me because, again, the world says men don't talk. So, when men find a place to talk, and I'm just grateful that God used me to provide a space every morning where men can talk, and a podcast where I can share my heart with men. But I'm very proud of you guys this morning. I'm proud of who you are. I hope you are proud of you. That's the biggest thing. I can be proud of you. Your family can be proud of you, but you got to be proud of you. That's one thing about men, man. Other people can celebrate us, but if we don't feel how they feel, we still feel down. We feel just separated, So you got to be proud of you this morning. You got to be proud of you. And if you had a tough week, man, pick one thing that you were proud of this week. Pick one thing that you did well this week, that you were on top of the game, and celebrate yourself. I think that if we don't celebrate ourselves, man, we won't feel our value. And a lot of you guys, I want to talk to some of you guys who don't believe in incremental. I still got paint on me. See what color it is. Um, we got incremental growth, right? And then some of us want to just be where we got to be. But remember, life is a journey. It's not a trip, right? Life is a journey. It's not a trip. So you'll get where you got to go. But understand, sometimes your victories are incremental, right? And if you walk to your victory, you'll know how you got there. Sometimes if you just show up victorious, you don't know how you got there. And next thing you know, you lose it all because you didn't know how you got there. So walk, right? And to our point today, I want to make this statement just to open up our discussion in my teaching today is that make sure you walk in love. I don't believe that a man should fall in love. I don't believe that a man should fall in love. I believe that a man should walk in love. You should walk into love. If you fall in love, you don't know how you got there. That's the whole key. If you fall in love, you don't have any clue how you got there. And so you want to make sure that you know what you're doing. You want to know what you're doing. Don't get so caught up in your feelings or your need for a woman that you don't choose right. And bang, here we are right on top of it. So I want to talk today about how men choose women. And I want you guys to jump in the chat and share your thoughts, share your feelings about the topic. But I want to talk about how men choose women. I think the divorce rate is so high, now that people are not getting married. This new generation doesn't even want to get married anymore. People aren't valuing family. And I'm not saying marriage is the only thing, but marriage matters. Relationship matters. And now you have a generation of people that don't value marriage at all. They don't see any point in it. They don't see where it's valuable. And I think the issue is that people have turned their back on marriage, but I really think the issue is not bad marriages. The issue is bad choosing, right? The issue is bad choosing. And I think that if we chose better, then more relationships would go better. Let me say that again. If we chose better, more relationships would go better. But I don't think we know how to choose, right? And if you're on here, if anybody ever taught you how to choose, I don't know. My parents never even talked to me about relationships, right? It was never really a discussion. And so I didn't know how to choose. I didn't know that there was principles of how you choose somebody. And now that I know, I can teach you. I've been divorced twice. I divorced my wives. I've divorced them because I was an escaper. I was an escaper from certain things that certain times you got to get out, in some seasons you got to get out to protect yourself, which in one of my situations I did. I fled to protect myself. But I also know that if I had chosen better, see, we can talk about all the issues in marriage. We can talk about all the issues that, especially as men, we can sit around and talk about all women is crazy and all these things. But the bigger question is, how did you choose her? Why did you choose her? That is the real issue that I think that we don't talk a lot about. It's easy to talk about a broken woman. It's easy to talk about a broken relationship. It's easy to talk about what she did and how crazy she is. But how did you choose crazy? What in you chose crazy? That's the real question we got to ask ourselves as men. What in you chose crazy? Don't say you were fooled. I don't believe that. I don't believe that we're fooled when we choose the wrong woman. I think that we're in a rush when we choose the wrong women. I think we're under pressure when we choose the wrong women, right? Because the truth is you can know that you're choosing the wrong women. I think the biggest issue for most of us men is we don't take enough time to choose her, right? Look, what they say, that don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry, right? I think a lot of us choose relationship because we hungry. We hungry. We need something. We need some attention, right? And I won't deduce it down to X because it's not X all the time. Most of the time it's because it's attention. Everything is not actual. Some things are in the mind, right? Some of our need and lack is in the mind. And we got to understand that part of ourselves, right? Why did you choose? How did you choose? How do we choose? Jump in the chat. Talk to me. Let's talk about this morning, right? I got about 25 minutes. How do we choose? How did you choose the person you were with? How did you choose the last person you said she's the worst woman in the world? How'd you choose her? I think that we don't know how, right? Because choosing a right woman is not a guess. You're not guessing at that. That's not a guess. It's not a guess. You don't have to roll the dice, bro, as far as choosing a woman, right? Because the truth is, let me cut straight to the chase. Choosing the right woman is choosing the right you and discovering the right you, right? Let me see. Let me go in the chat. Let me see who's in there. Yeah. How are you, my friend Nate? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, brother. I'm so proud of you, Nate, as well, brother. You are moving and shaking. You've always been that. I'm very proud of you, bro. I'm very proud of who you are. I'm very proud of the stance you take as far as your faith and your business. Very proud of you, bro. Love you a lot. But I don't think we choose properly. We do not choose properly. And this is the issue. This is the issue. Um, let's look at Adam and Eve. Let's look at how Adam chose Eve. And as much as we say Adam, God gave Eve to Adam, Adam did choose her. And I think that if we look at the principles of how Adam chose her, then we can look at the principles of how we should choose, right? It's a method. It's a method. Number one, again, I'm going to repeat this. You can't choose the right woman if you haven't chosen yourself. You have to choose yourself, right? This is the issue. A lot of the intimate teaching that people teach women about loving themselves and choosing themselves first and all that stuff, we think that's teaching for women, and that's soft teaching. That's not soft teaching, because it's the issue. Women don't ask men to marry them. Men ask women. And the question is, did you receive your hand? Did you commit to your own hand before you committed to hers? Because, bro, listen, if it's hard for you to carry you emotionally, it's going to be impossible for you to carry her emotionally. You got to realize that choosing comes down. You got to be wise in your decisions. And ultimately, in order to choose the right woman, you got to choose the right you. Have you chosen the right you? Are you still dealing with the weak you? Are you still dealing with a bitter you? Are you still dealing with a disappointed you? See, these are the questions we got to really pose to ourselves, right? Because yes, every person has a flaw. There's no perfect person as far as choosing, but I think that if we choose correctly, we can bring the divorce rate down. We can bring the abuse rate down. We can bring all these things down if we choose properly. So how did Adam choose? Well, y'all know. Number one, I want to say this to you. I want to say this to you. This is big. Adam, God was with Adam, right? God was with Adam, and God is everywhere. And even God, I want y'all to peep this. This is important. This is the power of having a woman in your life, good or bad, negative or positive. This is the power of having a woman in your life. Either she would destroy you or take you to your highest height. There's no more vulnerable place you can be than in marriage, because that's the only person that can take you to the highest mountain or take you to the belly of hell. Right? And so, number one, the first thing that happened to Adam, as far as him choosing, what did he do? The first thing God did to Adam was put him to sleep. Put him to sleep. Now, what does that mean, Christian? What that means is you have to put the part of you to sleep that is arrogant. Yes. You got to put the parts of you to sleep that are destructive. Oh, come on. You got to put the parts of you to sleep that you know are detrimental to a good relationship. I'm gonna tell you, because this is the thing, guys. There's no law that says you have to be in a relationship. So if you're gonna be in one, you might as well be in a good one. If you're gonna play, then play, right? But if you want a relationship and desire to build with a good woman, then this is the keys to it. And here's the keys. Number one, you gotta go to sleep. You gotta go to sleep. Part of going to sleep is, again, putting away the negative sides of you that will ruin a relationship. Number one, right? That's the biggest thing. The next thing is putting you to sleep as far as your distractions, right? Some of us men look around so much at so many women. You're too distracted to choose. You're too distracted to choose the right woman. You can't. You're too distracted. You're too distracted by what? What they look like, what they sound like, how they smell, right? How she talks to you. All these faux means fake, all these fake principles on how you choose somebody. It don't matter how she looks. She's not going to look like that forever, and neither are you. It doesn't matter how a woman makes you feel in the moment. Women have the power to make you feel how they want to, how they want you to feel. So it doesn't matter how a woman makes you feel in the moment. You can't choose based on how you feel about her. Oh, Christian, you crazy now. You bugging. You bugging. You no, bro, you gotta pick based on how you feel. No, because feelings are flailing. Feelings are fickle. Feelings change. You can love somebody today and despise them tomorrow. You can't choose based on feelings. You got to choose based on the only thing you know, which is you. You don't know her, you know you. Come on, yo. You don't know her, you know you. So how do you choose the right woman? You got to choose you. You got to choose you. You got to choose the best parts of you, right? You got to choose the best parts of yourself in order to choose the right woman. So number one, Adam went to sleep. He went to sleep. He went to sleep from his distractions. He went to sleep from all the things around him that were why? Because God said to him, this is the point I wanted to get to. God said to Adam, it's not good for you to be alone. It's not good for man to be alone. Now, this is the thing. God was with him. And this is where I wanted to get to. This is the power of a woman. God was right there with Adam when he told him it's not good for you to be alone. I want y'all to feel this. God told Adam it's not good for you to be alone while God was with him. What even God was trying to send the message to Adam was this. Even me, the creator of all things, cannot do for you what this creation of a woman can do for you. Feel me? Imagine you standing there in the presence of your son and saying, hey, son, while you're sitting next to him, it's not good for you to be alone. In other words, it's something I know. As much as I love you, as much as I'm your father, as much as I'm connected with you, hey, I made you. I know that there's a deeper connection and relationship you need that not even I can fulfill. That's the power of a woman. And that's why you can't be so daggone shoddy or bugging while you choose one. You see, you got to understand that. A woman has much power over you. See, I see this for all the tough guys who feel like you in control. A woman will spin you upside down 3 times, and before you knew, you spun once. Choose the wrong woman, you're choosing your destruction. Right? Be the wrong man, you're choosing your destruction. Because if you're the wrong man and you choose you'll choose the wrong woman. Let me say it again. Wrong men choose the wrong woman. You weren't right for you, bro. Right? When you're right for you, you choose what's best for you. Right? That's the let's see who's in the chat. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, yes sir. Good morning. 18 years together, 10 years enrolling. Congratulations, my brother. The passed the ball and she passed it back. As long as we scored, don't matter. As long as we went, yes sir. Yes, sir. How do we get foggy? Come on, camera. Let's get it. We got to get this focus together. But peep this. Adam chose Eve, right? He went to sleep. He did not fight God. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get my focus together here. He did not fight God about the decision, right? Because he knew that God knew what he needed. This is the thing. God knew what he needed. That's why you got to listen to God when it comes down to choosing a woman, right? That's why the distraction of the video vixen is out here. Goodness gracious. Come on, y'all. All right. That's why the distraction of the video vixen is here. That's why the distraction of the BBL is in the building. That's why the distraction of what she looked like is in the building. You're not choosing right women. You're choosing something for a moment that's no good for you. You got to know that a woman has the power of seduction. She'll seduce you right out of your vision. I told y'all this before. I'm going to tell you again. Is this plug? Okay, it got to come together. I'm going to tell y'all before, like I told y'all, the book of Proverbs, 31 books. I know, and I'm going to say this to some women on my Dear Sister podcast. Send your wives, send your sisters, send your friends to my Dear Sister podcast. But I'm going to say this to them, and I know that is going to get me in trouble. But the book of Proverbs wasn't written for women, nor was the Proverbs 31 written for a woman. It was not. They have done all kinds of conferences and people have taught it. But the fact is, Proverbs 31 was written for man. The actual book was written from a father to a son to tell him how to do wisdom throughout life, right? How to have friends, how to handle money, how. And he gives him 30 books of how. And then he leaves the Proverbs 31 book at the end. Why is 31 there? Why do I talk about this kind of woman at the end? The father was saying, because if you absorb 30 lessons of wisdom and you absorb it all and you become the man of your own dreams, if you choose the woman that is wrong for you, all the things you gain over all those 30 books will be lost, because that's the power of a woman. That's why you got to choose properly. Have you chosen you? In your single life, have you chosen you? And for some of you married brothers saying, oh, it's too late, bro, I already married. No, you still got to choose you in that relationship. If you lose you in your marriage, you can't be the right man for her. You can't lose you. You can't lose you. That's one thing you always hear people say at weddings to women. Don't lose yourself, girl. Don't lose yourself, right? Don't lose yourself in him. Right? But nobody reminds the man, don't lose yourself, bro. Don't lose yourself. Hold on to yourself while you love her. Right? And so what Adam did was, Adam went to sleep. Adam woke up. God presented Eve to Adam. Adam observed her. Now peep this. Adam sat there and he looked at her first. He observed her. Why do you know he observed her, Christian? You got to be making this up. I'm not making it up. He observed her. What did he say? He said, she is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I told y'all the other day, they say that the language might have been like a Hebrew language, and the word for man was ish, right? So it's a possibility that Adam looked at her and said, Isha, me in another form, a bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I got to look at her and see a more beautiful part of me. I got to look at her and see a softer side of me. Listen, you're not looking for a woman, bro. You're looking for yourself in the softer side. People don't teach this to men. That's why the divorce rate is so high. 60 something percent, right? Let me see. 60 something percent, the divorce rate. Why? Because you can't make a man play with something he don't want. But again, the question is, why'd you choose it? How are you choosing a woman? The truth is, a lot of times, then let's talk in the chat. Why some of your worst relationships, let's talk about that for a second. In some of your worst relationships, when you look back on some of your worst relationships, what made you choose her? When you look back on some of your worst relationships, what made you choose her? Because, and I want to throw this in, women love to talk about toxic masculinity. Let me tell you something. Toxic masculinity is bad, but toxic femininity, is 1,000 thunderstorms. Let me see. Let me go in the chat. You see? Because we're choosing improperly. When Adam came back, he looked at her, observed her. Again, how long are you observing this woman before you choose her? And this is the bigger question. How are you observing her? See, this is the thing. This the honest piece. Are you observing her based on how she'll look on your arm? I'm gonna tell you, there are cats, there are men, there are some of us. Come on, let's be honest. You chose a woman of how she'll look on your arm, how you think she'll look when she wake up in the morning, and you married the she devil because you weren't looking at stuff that counted. You weren't looking at her ability to produce. You weren't looking at her ability. When I say produce, I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about ideas. See, this is what I've been teaching the women on the Dear Sister podcast. Whatever a woman takes in her mind, see, a woman has her natural reproductive system, but a woman also has a spiritual reproductive system. Instead of the seed going in her body, the seed goes in her mind. And when you give a woman a seed, when a man gives a woman a seed, that seed is 1,000 milliliter size. That's how small it is. 1,000th of a milliliter. 1,000th of a milliliter. I'm trying to push to you how important this choice is in a woman. 1,000th of a milliliter is the size of a seed that you give a woman. When she takes 9 months, and in 9 months she takes 1,000th of a milliliter seed, and then she gives you eyes, she gives you organs, she gives you ears, she gives you a head, she gives you a whole body, and all you gave her was 1,000th of a milliliter seed. In other words, the same way a woman will take a seed of a man and produce a baby, she can also take an idea and produce a brilliant thought. So you cannot have a woman has a broken womb of her mind. Some of us are so worried about a woman being able to make a baby, but are you choosing a woman that can produce an idea? Oh man, she can cook. Can she produce an idea? Does she have a womb that's here? Do you have a woman who has a womb right here? Because that womb down there is for a child. This womb right here is for a vision. So you can make 1,000 babies with a woman and you cannot produce one idea with her. Bad choice. Bad choice. Because the garden was not completed on Adam's account. He needed this woman to help him finish completing the garden. Right? She was a part of the completion of vision. Your job in life as a man is to walk out the vision you have. And I'm going to say this to some of you too. For some of you single men, if you leave your path to find a woman, you are going to choose the wrong one. Whatever visionary path you're on for life, and if you don't have one, what do I always tell you? You got to give your mind something to follow, or it will go all over the place. You have to have a vision for your life and be following that with a committed mind. And if you veer off that choice or off that path to find that woman, you're choosing the wrong one. That's not how you find a woman. You don't find a woman by leaving your passion or your desire or your hope or your dream. Because the problem is you'll go get a woman, you'll bring her back to your vision, and she won't support it. She won't think it's important. She'll think will always be more important than the thing God gave you to do. Let me look in the chat. These references of the word is, let me see. Okay. These references of the word is pointed diagram of exactly how we all need to continue the great work of manhood in our lifetime. Because knowledge is power only when you apply these lessons. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to apply these lessons. And as a single man, you got to think about this stuff when you meet a woman. You can't just be so mind blown by her looks. Or that she can cook. You can cook. This is another thing about men. I want you to understand this, brothers. Don't go into, I'll tell y'all a story. My mom, I was 10 years old. I was about 10. I think I was about 10 or 11. And I remember my mom saying, hey, it was a Saturday. She said, hey, boy, come on. I said, where we going? I knew we wasn't leaving the house because my mom don't drive. I said, what we doing, Mom? She said, she took me in the kitchen. She said, we going to start this pot of chili. I said, okay. And then she said, now we're going to go down in the basement and we're going to start a load of clothes. Okay. And then we're going to come upstairs and we're going to wash these dishes with hot water, soap, and bleach. And my mom was the kind to say she wants steam. She said, the only way I know them dishes is clean is if hot steam is coming off the dishes. I said, okay, Mom, you're crazy. But that's what she taught me. In that day, she taught me how to cook a meal, wash some clothes, wash the dishes, while the food is simmering, go organize something upstairs. And then by the time we do that, the clothes is folded, bring them back and put them in a basket, bring them upstairs. She turned on this was me, my mom used to watch Michael Jordan in the kitchen on the small TV. We would sit in the kitchen, we would fold the clothes while the food was cooking. Christian, what are you saying to us? My mom taught me all this stuff in a day, and not only taught it to me, but how to do it all at one time. And you know what she said to me at the end of the day? She sat down and she cooked a meal for me. And she said, son, you know why I taught you all that stuff? I said, I don't know, Mom, why? She said, I taught you this so you would never need a woman to do it. If you're going to have a woman in your life, she's going to have to bring much more than these things, because this is what you know how to do. She has to bring something greater to your life. See, this is the thing, guys. Take better care of yourself so you're not fooled by a woman that can wash your drawers. Take better care of yourself so you're not fooled by a damn crispy chicken wing. You know how to cook crispy chicken wings. You see what I'm saying? My mom taught me how to cook everything. There's nothing I can't cook. I love the art of cooking. No woman is going to impress me the fact that she can heat up a pot. No woman is going to impress me because she can fold an undershirt. You see, some of us have gone with the most crazy, foolish woman because she did the one thing you can't do. How about live a life where those things are not the role of women, they're the role of living? Cooking is a role of living. Washing clothes is a role of living. Cleaning your house is a role of living. Some of us have chosen the wrong woman just because she could run a vacuum. Right? Right? Some of you are chose the wrong woman just because you ain't had X in a while and she came over and gave you the greatest X that you had in a while, so now she your lady. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Is she intelligent? Can she carry a conversation? Does she have a womb of her mind? Can she birth anything besides a baby? That's why I have the Dear Sister podcast to teach them sisters is more to loving a man than producing a baby and cooking a meal. A real man is looking for a woman that has a womb in her head, right? And speaks the right things out of her mouth. Watch how a woman talks. You want to choose the right woman? Watch how she talks. Sit back and see how she talks. See how she communicates. And I'm not talking about just I'm talking about how she talks. What's in her head? How exposed is she? Right? Is everything a concert? Is everything such and such latest album? Huh? Is her mind consumed with reality shows and housewives and who hit each other with a champagne bottle? If your conversation with a woman is consumed with shallow foolishness, she is not worth the seed of your thought. Nor is she worth the seed of your child. We're not taught how to choose, so I'm going to teach you. Adam said, bone of my bone. She just like me. So how did he say she was bone of our, how would a man say she's bone of my bone if he wasn't aware of himself? He was so aware of himself that he recognized her and said, oh, she's the one. She can help me fulfill my dreams in this garden. She knows how to talk to me. I'll tell you another story about my mom and my dad, right? My mom and my dad, I never saw my mom and dad be all romantic as far as kissing and hugging and dancing in the kitchen, but I saw them take care of each other. And one of the things I respected so much about my mom was that my dad was a wild man. My dad was a very protective man, but he would go off real quick. Right. And when my father went off, it wasn't no stopping him. It ain't no stopping. Old time is stopping. It wasn't no stopping him. Right. And so my mom was the only person I knew that could say, all she had to do was say, Thomas. And he would come right out of whatever rage or anger he was in. Right. Whatever. We were driving down Broad Street one Sunday, one week morning. Me and my sister, we were going to the Y. We were little, down on Broad Master Street in Philadelphia, and and this guy was riding the bumper in my dad's car. My dad kept on looking in the rearview mirror, and he had this little smile on his face. That's when I knew my dad was going to go ham. When he had a little smile on his face, like, oh man, he about to go off. So he and I hear him say, if this MF hit me, it's going to be a problem. Now here he is. He taking my mom to work, trying to drop us off at camp. And this boy just a jerking behind him. And he finally hit my dad's car. Boom. My dad jumps out the car, hits the man's window, hits the man in the face over and over again. And my mom gets out the car in all this morning rush hour traffic. She stands up and she says, Thomas. He stopped what he was doing. He acted like nothing happened, came and got me and my sister. Oh, y'all have a good day. Right? We walked in the camp. I realized in that day, wow, look at the power of that woman right there. That with one word, she can change his mood. She can bring him out of a dark space with one word. Do you have the kind of woman with that kind of authority in her voice? The authority to calm you, not to cap you. Because there are some women that have the authority to calm you. There's other women that have the authority to shut you down, cap you. You don't need the woman that shuts you down. You need the woman that has a calming spirit to be able to get you where you got to go. You also need the kind of woman with the kind of authority that can do what? Speak you into your dreams. Speak you right into your dreams. Speak you right into your dreams. You can do this. You can do this. I'm gonna tell you, I had this equipment for this podcast for weeks before I podcasted anything. Number one, because I battle low self-esteem so much, I was like, man, these people don't even want to hear me talk. Why would I get on there? I'm an imposter. Nobody want to hear me talk. Right? I don't see myself the way people see me. So however, if you see me a certain way and you have a certain respect for me, man, God bless you and thank you for thinking of me that way. I don't think of myself that way. That's one of my biggest battles, right? That's my thorn in my flesh that I always deal with, man. Worth. I got to battle myself to feel like I'm worth something, right? And so where was I going with this story? I don't know where I was going with this. Oh, the podcast. So I'm back here and I'm like, man, I got all the equipment, the lighting, camera, everything popping. And I was sitting on the couch right next to my setup. And my lady was sitting next to me. She said, so when you going to go over there and shoot something? I was like, man, I don't know. And I mean, I'm telling you, I almost was like, man, I can't do it. I don't got nothing. I don't got nothing people want to listen to, right? And you know what she said to me? She said, do you know how valuable your voice is? I said, nah. She said, well, your voice is valuable, right? Let me tell you something else she did. When I went to South America, I keep this right at my, when I went to South America, I was teaching in Guyana. I built a school in Guyana to stop sex trafficking. And I was just there teaching the men. I was doing a men's conference. And I didn't realize I was packing my bag to go. And when I got there, I looked in my book bag and I'm trying to get these right. I look in my book bag and I see this, right? So I'm in Guyana. It's so hot. It's so spiritually like dense and heavy, right? And I was there. I was by myself teaching 4 nights. Baptizing. I was in there. And as much as that work seems exciting, it can be lonely. It can be jarring. It can be scary, And so I did that for 15 years and it's never changed. Whatever country I've gone in, I've always gone by myself. And I've always gone in these countries by myself and it's always very, And so she wrote me on the back of these things. Every letter had a note in it. Every envelope had a note in it. But on the envelope itself, she wrote, be great. The world needs you. Right at the top. Be great. The world needs you. And then at the bottom, home is waiting for you. Right. What that says is that I chose a woman that's concerned about me beyond what I can produce for her. She realizes that I got to speak something into this man, right? Because it lifts him to do the work. Let me see. Stop with that. Take your flowers, bro. You are worthy of, yes, I get it. I'm learning that. I'm learning that I'm worthy of that. But I also think, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna kick something to y'all, right? I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna share something with you about me, about this dude Christian. I'm gonna share something with you. Y'all ready? Let me take this mic off this thing so I can lean back. Listen, I believe. Now, you don't have to agree with this. I'm just talking about me. I believe that low self-esteem for me has been like sort of a gift, because all my life people have been telling me how great I am, how wonderful I am, and I don't buy into any of it ever. I think part of feeling about myself how I do, it keeps me in the grind. It keeps me right where I want to be. And it's not hard to stay humble for me because I don't think this of myself, right? I know what I do know is if this gift I have to talk to people and to gather people, if this gift didn't belong to God, it will be used for something very negative. And I don't know. I'm not saying I have other plans. But what I'm saying is I have the power to persuade. I have the power to make people believe. See, this is why you got to know your gifting, and you got to know how to keep whatever gift you have. You got to, as a man, you got to keep that gift close to God, because that same gift, the enemy will use you to be destructive in the earth. So I really, as much as I need to build my esteem, I'm kind of thankful that I can do this work with blinders on, not thinking I'm worth this and that. Because that's one of the biggest problems with people that speak or people that are influential, right? That's the problem with men that are influential. You start thinking that you're something, and really you're nothing. See, I know that goes against the world's terminology. World's terminology is think you're awesome, believe in yourself, you're amazing. And I do believe in that in a sense. But I also know I'm worth nothing but filthy rags. I'm not this smart. The things I say to you, I'm not this smart. That's why when I say stuff, I'll be speaking live and people say, can you say that again? And I don't remember what I said, because I'm only a worthless vessel. I'm a worthless vessel. I am. I'm filthy rags. I know me. I know me without God's grace. Right? And maybe I don't. Maybe it will be worse. Maybe I'll be worse. But I'm going to live right here in this pocket. I'd rather have low self-esteem and do what I do than ever think I'm all that and become a piece of trash and hurting communities and hurting women and hurting men and hurting the countries God sends you to. Right? And so I'll hold close to it. I think the only time it's dangerous is when the times I sit on the couch and say my voice is worth nothing and I won't want to get on the computer. Or I feel like, it's a thought you got to fight. And it's a fight that I'm going to fight for the rest of my life. I believe it's a thorn on my side. But when it comes down to choosing a woman, I've dated a woman. I've dated a woman who didn't value me, or maybe she thought that I was too strong, and her goal was to tear me down, tear me apart. So she would never have anything good to say about me. Couldn't find a good word to say about me. Right? She would try to take me down a peg. See, that's what you got to be careful about, the woman that will always try to knock you down a notch. That means that she doesn't feel good about herself. She doesn't feel like she can run with the horses. So she got to slow you down, make you a puppy. Huh? You understand? You got to be careful of the woman that'll knock you down. The woman who won't speak well of you, you stay far away from. A woman who she can never find words to speak well of you, you got to stay far away from her. So so the woman I chose, right? I chose a woman who would create these for me. Right? And I didn't know when I chose her, I didn't know she would do. Yeah. I didn't know exactly what she would do, but I knew she would be invested in my hopes. She would be invested in my future. And she would speak well of me. Why? Because I knew myself enough to know that I might not believe it from anybody in the world. Right? People have been telling me I'm awesome since 14. I don't buy into that. But I knew I needed one voice, right, that would be with me on a daily basis that can say, hey, you can do this. Right? And it's not that I don't believe, it's just that I don't know. I'm just not built for that. I'm not about that. I'm not about the pomp and circumstance of who I am. You know why? Because I know what I paid to get here. I know what I paid to get here. I paid a heavy price to get here. Like an unbelievably heavy, oh my God type of price. I'm talking about a Job's trial to get where I am. You can't go through a Job's trial and just get with a woman who doesn't respect the journey of how you got where you got. Right? You can't. You cannot do it. You'll destroy yourself. All right. Oh man. All right. See, y'all, I'm supposed to give y'all a half hour. Here we are, 49 minutes and 49 seconds in, right? So as far as choosing, this is the thing. And let's get. I want to touch on some of these points that we were in yesterday. See, when you fail at love or fail at relationship, I won't say fail at love. When you fail at relationship, all right. When you fail at relationship, um, you got to know where the failure was. That means you got to slow down enough to know not to blame the person you were with. You got to slow down enough to know to say, hey, what mistake did I make, or what bomb did I bring to the table that caused this to be the way it is, right? So, for example, my first marriage, I got married at 21, and I married an excellent woman. Excellent woman. She's an excellent woman to this day. I have nothing negative to say. The issue was that because I was in religion, because I was a young pastor, I was leading people. Again, I was leading since 14. By the time I was 17, I was traveling the East Coast. By the time I got to college, I started a ministry there with about 6 people, and it turned into about 400 people by the time my senior year. And so when I started pastoring, I started out pastoring with 200 people. And so all the people looked at me, all the leaders, and they said, you know what? You got to get married. Here I am, 21. I don't know me. I don't know nothing about me. I don't know how I determine love. I still got a skewed view of love because I saw my dad provide, but not ever be loving, like, touchy or kissy on my mom. So all I knew was provision. And so I wasn't prepared at all. But the religious folks told me, you got to get married so you can be valid. Right? So look at how I chose in that situation. I chose in that situation based on what other people said I needed. They said I needed that. And so I did it. And thank God I chose an excellent human being. Right? But that marriage ended. Why? It didn't end because she was terrible. It ended because I was terrible. Right? And terrible how? Terrible to her? No. I had lost my mother. I lost my father. We lost our child. All that happened in 5 years. She was a young kid. She didn't know how to support me. I needed support. I'm pastoring churches. I'm traveling the world. While I'm buried, I was 4 months later after burying my daughter. I was in Zimbabwe, Africa. I mean, right? She didn't know how. So can I blame her? No. My choice was off because I chose based on what people said that they think I needed. Right? Then I got married again about 10, 12 years later. I got married again because I had great need for love. I was suffering so bad with ministry, suffering so bad inwardly. Ministry was great, but I'm suffering so bad trying to carry all these things. You got to remember, I was a kid. I was a kid when I started. So by the time I became a grown man, I was still a broken grown man because nobody ever stopped this kid and asked me, are you okay? So what did I do? I chose again based on the fantasy of, oh my God, we can run around in circles and dance in the rain. Right? But psychologically, I wasn't ready to build a relationship. I needed to dance in the rain with someone. So I married someone I could dance in the rain with. An exciting, fabulous woman. Right? Neither time did I choose based on me. That's why I get on here and talk truth. I'm not scared because you need this kind of honesty, man, so we can get where you got to go. So this is the thing. You got to learn through your mistakes. And again, I'm still talking to the men that's married. Don't think that this is for single men. Right? Understand that even in your marriage, you can still start to change yourself to make a better relationship, become a better person for your woman. Or deal with her differently because you deal with you differently. Right? Learn through these mistakes. What mistakes have you made in the past regarding love? And what did you learn from it? Right? And that's a chat question. If you want to go in the chat, let's talk about that. What mistakes have you made in past love relationships? Right? What mistakes? And this is why it's so important to talk about these things, because we're able to receive some type of coaching, counseling to help us think through. The worst thing a man can do is try to figure out everything on his own, because you can't be everything you need to yourself. Speaking of that, let me see. Visit my website, christianwinners.com. I know capitalist people say I'm crazy, but the wisdom God gave me, he gave it to me by grace and he gave it to me by suffering. So when you go on my website, you'll find there that I do one-on-one coaching for men only. I do group coaching for men, and I also have a table of 12. My table of 12 is once a month. It's each month on Saturday from 9 to 11. I sit with men, 12 men, and I help them find their purpose, and we launch their lives and their projects, things they want to do in life. I help men rediscover their purpose at their table. Right? We dig in deep. We uproot pain so that you can find your purpose. That's what I do once a month in an intimate gathering online with 12 men. I only take 12 men a month. Go on my website right now, get one of those slots. I think that the first one begins October 14th, I believe. Let me check. October 14th. Let me see. Yes, October 12th. That's the first one, October 12th. Go on my website right now. If you need counseling, coaching, again, I do everything by donation. There was a time in my life I needed counseling so bad and I didn't have any money. I just refused to do it. I refuse to do it. I've never chased money. That's never been my life. My life has always been the people. And if there's some brothers on here right now, look, I don't got a lot, but I need some help. Go on my website right now. Go and sign up for your one-on-one coaching. If you're on here and you have a group of men at your church, at your masjid, at your synagogue, in the trap house, I'll come. I don't care if it's a bunch of dope dealers. I'll come because men are men and men need love and be talked to. I don't care what religion, color, race, creed. Why? Because there's a common enemy that attacks all men. So don't say one group is less than the other. No. There's one enemy that's trying to kill all men the same. So go on my website, sign up for your coaching right now. I'm doing a half-hour intervals, right? Donation based, so I can help you. You know brothers who need help. You need some help. Go on my website right now. Sign up for your coaching. You can schedule it right online. All right. That's my commercial. Okay. So what mistakes have you made? Let me go in the chat. Let me see who's talking in the chat. Okay. Yes, Nate. I know me without God's grace. Yes, absolutely. You better know you without God's grace. You got to know you. You got to know you. You got to know your capability. You got to know how far you'll go, right? And guess what? In your choosing of a mate, choose someone who can protect you from you. But in order for a woman to protect you from you, you got to be vulnerable enough to show her you, even your flaws, right? Right. So what mistakes have you made in relationship regarding love? This is another question you got to ask yourself. How have I failed relationships or friendships? How have failed relationships or friendships reshaped my understanding of love? Like for some of us, for some men, you've decided you'll never love again. That's how it shaped you. It shaped you in a negative way. It shaped you and it made you cold. It made you feel like you'll never want to attempt that again. Right? For some men, they say, look, I just don't care, right? But a real man, I'm talking about a genuine man is going to always reassess himself. You can't be a real man without a commitment to reflection. You hear me? You can't be a real man without commitment to reflection. See, I need to do a podcast on real man because real man ain't beers and football. Yeah, real man ain't, I go to the gym 7 days a week. I'm not saying these things aren't part of manhood or man life or whatever it is. I used to love football. I haven't watched a game of football this whole season. I don't even care about it. I don't know what happened to me. Doesn't even matter, right? But the point is these things don't define your manhood. The only thing that defines your manhood is where you are mentally. How you deal here is whether you're a man or not. And we really need to break down these walls between men. Oh, real men do this. What do you mean? A real man can play football, or a real man can play a violin. How is this man less than a real man because He's not out here on the court on Saturdays shooting hoops with his homies. Right? A real man. What's that? What's that? Let's be real. What, a real man? A real man can't be creative? A real man? How do you define manhood? See, these are all the things in the enemy's mind, right? This is all the things the enemy puts in our mind to try to challenge whether we're real men or not. A real man? A real man takes care of his responsibilities around him. Oh man, he's soft. What make him soft? Oh, because he writes poetry. Huh? So every man gotta be a brute? That man that write poetry might knock you out. That man who write poetry might knock you clean out. You think you the toughest man in the building. That man put his pencil down and knock you out. You thought you was a real man. Come on, be real. That's the point. That's the beauty of manhood, is that it's very vast. It's very vast. Learn how to choose properly, guys, so you don't destroy your life. Let's go. Let's talk about masculinity and vulnerability. Do you find it difficult to express love due to ideas of masculinity? Right? Some men find it hard to show love because it makes them feel soft. Listen, if you're a man and you don't have a soft place to land, bro, life is hard. You need a soft place to land at the end of the day. What's the soft place? The soft place to land is what? It's my own. I got to be vulnerable to create that soft place, that soft space of landing for me. Life is hard. Life hard every day. Right? Why not be vulnerable in some place as a man? And if you're with a woman you can't be vulnerable with, she's not the right one. If you need a woman that needs you to be tough or play a role, walk away. Walk away. If you have a woman that needs you to play a role, walk away. Walk away. Because how long can you play that stage before everything falls apart? You got to walk. Right? Here we go. Let's go. I need to do a whole nother podcast on this, and I will. Maybe Monday. I only do my morning show Monday through Friday, but yeah, I'm gonna do a whole nother podcast on this. Let me lean in. I put it right here in my note. Healing from toxic love. Let me see in the chat how many men here have ever been in a toxic relationship. You knew it was a toxic relationship with a woman. Because sometimes, we talk a lot about toxic masculinity, not realizing that there's a toxicity in women that I think is almost worse, more destructive. Have anybody in here, ever been in a toxic relationship with a woman? Talk to me. Jump in that chat. Because this is what I'll do. I'll do a pod on how you recognize unhealthy patterns in your love life. How do you recognize unhealthy patterns in your love life, and how do you recognize patterns in someone else before you fully connect with them? I need to do a whole podcast on this. I'm gonna do a whole podcast on this. What steps have you taken to heal from toxic love? Right? And can forgiveness of self be a part of the greatest part of your love journey as a man? Forgiveness of yourself. Can forgiving you help your love journey? Can forgiving you help you make better choices in the woman you're with? This is what's real. All right, I gotta get out of here. I'm supposed to be with y'all half hour. Y'all are committed. Y'all are a committed crew. It's an hour and 3 minutes and 53 seconds, and here I am, supposed to be 30 minutes. I gotta finish painting my little girl's room pink. As y'all can see, I still have paint all over me. I gotta build all kinds of stuff today. And my lady is coming home, which I'm very excited about. Dear brother, the advice. You need some advice today on relationship, on money management, on entrepreneurship. What move should I make, Christian? What you think about this? I'm wide open. I love advice. I love giving advice more than I ever love teaching. All right. I love sitting with you. Make sure, again, gentlemen, while you're getting your questions together, if you have questions, you need advice, throw it in there. Don't be afraid. All right. Don't wait till Monday. You got something on your mind? Share it, man. You got something in your heart? Share it. You got an idea? Share it. Hey, man, I'm thinking about making this move. What you think, man? Look, I love you, bro. And I want to give you that advice to help you think through. All right. But while you're getting your questions together, make sure you visit my website, christianwinners.com. Sign up for your coaching, donation-based coaching, donation-based group work, right? And make sure you sign up for the table of 12. I sit with 12 men per month online, table of 12 giants, and I help you find your future, speak into your life, direct mentorship once a month, 12 minutes at a time, okay? Make sure you go get my book, Home Where Hurt Men Heal, Amazon.com. Go get it, gentlemen. Let me see in the chat. Okay. All right. It is Dear Brother the Advice. Jump in the chat. You need any advice? Jump in the chat, even while I'm talking about other things. We're also on a mission, gentlemen. We're on a mission. We're on a mission to touch the lives of 36,000 incarcerated men in Pennsylvania. All it takes is a $20 donation, even more. Most people have given, man. It's been beautiful, 50s and 40s and 60s. People, basically, the book is $10 for me to ship into the prison. I'll be able to put a note into it, sign it, and send it into the prison. I'm trying to touch 36,000 lives. That's not too big, nothing too small for real men, all right? And so we will donate. There's the Master Built One on Cash App, Master Built One on Venmo. You can donate today to this cause. Help me touch 36,000 incarcerated men in Pennsylvania. They're not prisoners. There's incarcerated men. Some of us would have been right where they are. You just didn't get caught. Make sure that you donate. If you're coming on every morning and this podcast is lifting your life up, then help me touch the lives of other men. Let's not be selfish men, brother. And if you're in YouTube, hit the like button. And Facebook, I want to let everybody know it's on Facebook. This is my last show on Facebook today. Make sure you go to the Dear Brother podcast, like and subscribe and share. Get the notification that I'll be on in the morning during this morning show, only from YouTube and Instagram. All right. So Facebook, this is my last day on Facebook. All right. I'll be going to Instagram. I'll be going to TikTok as well. But jump on my YouTube, like, share, and subscribe there, okay? Let me see. Eric. Okay. These references of the word is pointed diagram. Okay. Did I read that already, Eric? Yes. I'm sorry. I did. Okay. All right, gentlemen. Make sure you donate. Donate for the wisdom you receive here. If you got lifted up this morning, make sure you donate. Master Built One, Cash App and Venmo. You're helping me with this project right here, right? We're trying to touch the lives of the men in the prisons, okay? So be a part of that. Again, we're still on Dear Brother the Advice. If you need any advice, any help, throw it up on the chat right now, man. I love to help you think through what you got to think through, all right? On business, on relationship, on decision making, on issues you have. You just can't get over certain things in your life. I want to help you out. Throw it in the chat right now, brother. I will help you. All right. All right. Dear brother, it's the end of our show today. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. I will hang around for a second to see if anybody has advice needed in the chat. But I love you, man. You're valuable. Be great today. Be great tomorrow. Go on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. I value you all. Today is Friday. I hope you have a great Friday. I'm glad you made it through the week. Let me pray for you all. Lord, thank you so much for this great Friday. We made it through the week. Some men had ups. Some men had downs. Some men had ins and outs. Some men had a great week. Some men had a terrible week. But I thank you that no matter what, you've been with us. You are our strength. And I thank you that you help us develop and shape our lives so we can be the men of our own dreams. We be the men of our own dreams. And for men right now seeking a relationship or in relationship, I pray that they would value themselves so they wouldn't get lost in the needs of everyone else. That a healthy relationship begins with a healthy man. And I thank you for their lives. I thank you for their day. I thank you that their weekend would be incredible. If there's any men on here with needs, financial needs, mental, social, emotional needs, Lord, I pray that you meet that need today. They will have a testimony by Monday that you have answered prayers today. I thank you so much to these great men. I thank you for their lives, and I thank you for where they're going. Bless them, but most of all, make them a blessing to everybody around them. Well, guys, I love y'all. You're dope. You're fly. You're fancy. You're blessed. Stay up. Open your eyes, open your heart, be vulnerable, love the people around you, be a man. I'll holler at y'all Monday. Peace.